I just love Amana Living. I'm so grateful for their caring nature of everything, things that come noticed to us, caring. Never regretted it for one moment.
The staff here are absolutely wonderful. It's in their heart that they want to do it. They don't do it because they think, oh, poor old thing, you know, she wants a bit of petting. No, that's not it at all. They do it because that they want to really help them and encourage them and give them courage to go on to the next thing. And they obviously love us from the bottom of their hearts. And that is a great, great thing.
I think one of the things that made Steve a fantastic chair was that he's just completely unflappable. And I know in my first couple of months as CEO, from time to time I would call Steve when there was an issue or a problem, and I'd be explaining everything to him, and he was just calm and measured. And it really gave me the confidence to say, yeah, you know what, I can really deal with these issues, and I'm really grateful for that. So Steve, I just want to say thank you very much for your support of me as the CEO in my first 3 years. I sincerely appreciate it, and I will miss you.
Well, Steve, I remember when you arrived at Amana Living on the board, and I was on the board at the time, and I think the way that you have incorporated the Anglican essence, the way that we serve, the collaboration that we have, the philosophy of care, that Anglicanism is a significant, deeply significant part of all of Amana Living's endeavours. It's just been terrific.
So I got to work closely with Steve in the process of selecting our new CEO, and when Ray left, leaving big shoes to be filled, it was quite a challenge, and Steve's leadership of that process was fantastic, and he managed to secure for us, along with the rest of the board, a fantastic new CEO in Stephanie, and that certainly is a legacy that he will leave for the organisation for many years to come.
My passion is, of course, good governance, and there's nothing more important in an organisation such as Amana Living and its place in aged care, and he was always incredibly supportive, and I like to think that through that era we established fantastic foundations for the Amana Living that is today. So on retirement, Steve, I wish you all the best. I hope we keep in touch. Thank you for all the efforts and all the time that was given to Amana Living with such good grace, and all the best to you and Anne.
I think the best farewell message for Steve is to tell one of my favourite stories about him. So he and I went up to Kalgoorlie quite often at that stage, and this particular story happened when we were opening, I think it was the sensory garden there. So we had a large gathering of residents, staff and local dignitaries, and Steve was giving the welcome speech, and you know, as he is wont to do, he was crapping on quite a bit, and I could see that people were getting restless and fidgeting in their seats, and he was still going on. And then he was working his way through the sponsors that we had and people who donated things to the project, and he got to this bird cage, which I think was given by Barrett Gold or something like that. So he says to the crowd, and they're all getting restless, and he says, "So we've got a bird cage, have we?" And they say, yeah, there it is. And then he says, "Well, do we have a bird?" And they say, yes, we've got a bird. And he says, "Does it talk?" And, you know, bearing in mind they're all getting really restless. And they will say, yes, it talks. And then he said, "Well, what does it say?" And then there was this little old guy in the corner, actually near the bird cage, and he was sort of hunched over in his wheelchair, and he pipes up and he says, "It says hurry up."
So this is the bit where I just say, Steve, I'd like to apologise for all those years in the early 90s where I made your life hell. I hope that I've somehow made up for it on my time with you at Amana Living.
bless, Steve. All the very best, and thank you for all you've done.